I'm Rochelle Martin and I'm teaching REHB 704 at the moment. I'm a physiotherapist by background, worked clinically for about 25 years and then went on and did a master's and PhD, got my PhD about 4 years ago. Got two roles. I work for the RTRU as a lecturer and also work for the Burwood Academy Trust as a researcher. 704 is a paper about neurorehabilitation. It's a paper that I've restructured and I've based it more around themes and ideas that are applicable across a range of neurological health conditions. So rather than going through each condition one after the other, I've really picked up some ideas and then use the health conditions as illustrations and examples within it. So there's a series of modules, and for instance, the first module relates to neuroplasticity and motor learning, and we think about how service design might impact on motor learning and people's ability to increase the amount of practice that they do. And we use stroke as the example of that. So that's one example. The other thing is we might do a module around goal setting, but what it looks like in a neurological rehabilitation setting where engagement and communication might impact more on goal setting and for people with this health conditions. So one of the things, that's an area where we look at traumatic brain injury, for instance. We also explore what living well across the whole of life looks like, and in ways that people can both manage themselves, manage their health condition, but also access services they need. And as the health conditions that we explore during that time is Parkinson's and MS and people who live with the experience of cerebral palsy. So the theme, the content is around these themes with the different health conditions informing and being used as examples. So how the course is structured is it's all online, all distance taught. And so there's quite a lot of content that you as a learner access on your own, what we call asynchronously. And that means that you can target where you're reading at the level that you're coming into. So someone who has already done a lot of work in the neuro rehab space can sort of extend themselves a little bit, whereas someone else who's needing more basic information around the health conditions and the sorts of impairments that they tend to experience can sort of target their learning at that set and at that level. And so there's readings and videos and pre-recorded content provided by myself that students access. And then once per fortnight usually, we'll have a video conference, and the video conference is online and aimed at interacting and discussing and sharing ideas and very much about deepening our understanding of the concepts together as we learn together. The assignments are very much set up so that students can choose a topic or an area of practice, neurorehab practice, that really applies to them. And often people will choose something that's directly related to their clinical practice. But if they're not working clinically, there's also really great opportunities for understanding a particular topic or concept or health condition in more detail. I work one-on-one with students to make sure the assignments are really relevant for them, and so that they are able to get the most out of them and also make them as enjoyable as possible. Things that students have talked about in terms of the value of this course is they've talked about it starting them on a journey of learning and of using evidence-based practice and gaining confidence with using that and having conversations in their work. They've talked about the value of it being kind of independent learning versus rote learning and exploring ideas. They've also talked about it, that transferability into the clinical role and being able to pursue their own interests, what value that is. Other students have really appreciated the interprofessionality. So the fact that we're a whole range of healthcare disciplines, but also people with lived experience, people working in policy space, people working as advisors within ACC, the whole range of people who are coming and sharing ideas, and we learn from each other through that process. And finally, people have talked about the value of critically starting to feel safe enough to critically evaluate their work and their practice and take steps towards changing that. Lots of people have said, I was feeling a bit dry in my clinical practice and I wasn't feeling very inspired, and now I've been re-inspired and re-energized, and that's a pretty cool thing, I reckon. So we would love for you to consider doing REHB 704. Have a look on the website to see when the next course is running, and get in touch at any time if you want to know more information about the course content and how it might work for you. Thank you.